Anthony Joshua. It's the big one. I can't believe it's happening. I can't believe it's happening. It's happening. Finally. Only look, Tyson Fury was starting to lose motivation. I was saying only last week that look, Tyson Fury is looking like he doesn't even want to train. He even said it. He said, look, I only need 5-6 weeks training oh dear, to fight these guys. And here he is. Finally, he's got what he wanted. He said once he knows the signature's been done and everyone's happy, he's going to start training. He only needs 5-6 weeks. Well, I don't know if he ever stopped training, but listen, it's on. Finally, it's been confirmed, about an hour ago, that finally it's on. Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. We're finally going to have one. Can you believe it? Last time was a long time ago. A long time ago. The Klitschko's held the belts forever. And the older brother held the WBC with Vladimir. And then he let it go when he went into politics. And then the younger one held it for the others apart from the WBC for ages. And the WBC went to Canada, then America, went with Deontay Wilder for a while. And then obviously, there you go. Then obviously the Klitschko's lost them. Obviously Vitaly and Vladimir, and that was that. But here we are. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. Let me know who you think is going to win. I'd love to know. My personal thoughts about will be it's going to be close in the early rounds. But if it goes to the later rounds, 100% Tyson Fury is going to win. Just because he's got the skills, he's got what it takes to bamboozle anybody. He's got the intelligence as well. He can go from southpaw to orthodox. He can mix it up all the way. But if Anthony Joshua puts it on Tyson Fury early, he'll knock him out or knock him down. But we know that people who are well versed, done a lot of amateur fights, Anthony Joshua struggled with. Tyson Fury's got a bit of power, but he's got the skill level which is far above Anthony Joshua. So let's see what happens anyway. So let's look at the tail of the tape. So Tyson Fury, he's 31 fights, undefeated. He's never been beaten. So if he wins, he becomes undefeated heavyweight champion of the world. Incredible. And he'll be the greatest heavyweight champion the UK seen since Lennox Lewis. Remember how long ago that was? That was like the 90s. So incredible record. 31 beats, undefeated, draw against. That was very interesting. He got knocked down on his back, and yet he was looking up to the sky and on the canvas. And not many people get up from this, but somehow he beat the count, Tyson Fury. And this is the guy who beat him, put him down on the floor. And yeah, he got up. Everyone was shocked. Got up, outboxed, a bit of a break, and then he obviously beat him to a pulp. So crazy. And then you look at Tyson, he's riding on everything. And Tyson Fury is massive. Tyson Fury, look at him, 6'9". Then we got Anthony Joshua, bit smaller, 6'6". British, obviously, was imperious, undefeated until that fateful night against this guy, Andy Ruiz Jr. Oh my God, what a fight that was. Andy Ruiz Jr., he was a stand-in for the fight. He wasn't even supposed to be fighting. He came in, but, he took the fight. It was in New York, and it was embarrassing how badly he got beaten. Now, Andy Ruiz Jr. was always known as being an exceptional amateur. And, we think about the situation with Anthony Joshua. He was an amateur as well. He won the gold medal at the Olympics. Not a big amateur career, but he just came in and was just blasted everybody out. So he got in the Olympics. He won the gold in 2012 in front of the British people, and that's what made him a superstar. But Andy Ruiz Jr. beat him, and it was surprising. He got knocked down a few times, and here we are. And it's going to be interesting what happens, because since then he beat Andy Ruiz Jr. again back in Dubai or Saudi, and then obviously he's had Pulev. Pulev was too slim, to be honest. Pulev was fast, nimble, but he didn't have the power, not the power to him. He rocked him a few times. He rocked Anthony Joshua a few times, but not enough to really do the job. He needs to be a bit heavier, I think. So the situation between these two, Tyson Fury, if you look at it here, Tyson Fury is the main man here. He is undefeated. He is taller, 6'9". Anthony Joshua's at 6'6". He has bamboozled everybody. Remember, he was the one who opened up the door for everybody else to fight. Everyone seems to forget that. Seems to forget that actually, if it wasn't for Mr. Fury, I know he's had his issues after the fight, but if it wasn't for him beating Klitschko, we wouldn't be where we are now. In fact, if he had won against Klitschko, didn't have the issues he'd had, he would still be undefeated right now, undisputed with all of the belts. And instead, obviously, he had his issues, had to relinquish all the belts, and then everyone else was free reign to get involved. And then Anthony Joshua took over and cleaned up, but obviously Tyson Fury got better, came back, and look at him. That's all she wrote. He's done an amazing job coming back. You obviously saw how big he got, and then he was able to lose the weight, still be hungry. Remember, he was already made his money, and come back and do it. And Deontay Wilder, one of the hardest punchers. I tell you what, that guy can knock down a train. The punch he would give. There's not many people who could take one punch from Deontay Wilder. But here we are. Tyson Fury was able to take it on his back, got up, and here we are. He's going to fight Anthony Joshua. So Tyson Fury is the main man for me in this fight. The fact of the matter is that Tyson Fury will play this clever. He won't stand toe to toe with Joshua because he knows Joshua's got the power. Joshua built like a bodybuilder, huge, bulky guy. Looks more like a bodybuilder than a boxer, let's be quite honest. Tyson Fury has the traditional kind of boxing body. He's not necessarily toned and perfectly built, but he's got the power, he's got the skill. He's a student of the sport. Student. And not just a student, he is able to read people very carefully, who's his opponents. He's fought all kinds of people, from the Klitschkos, and he's fought Deontay Wilder, who one punch will knock you out, and yet he was able to unlock the key. I personally thought that Deontay Wilder would never get beaten. I thought he would easily take these guys out. And when I saw Tyson Fury on his back, I thought that was it. But he was able to get up and do the job and stay undefeated and still outbox him, even though he was in a daze. He was able to outbox Mr. Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder, since that, has not fought again. And that must tell you something about the beatdown he got. For Deontay Wilder, the guy who was treating himself like a god, undefeated, undisputed, untouchable, invincible, like he was some sort of Superman. And yet he hasn't touched another opponent or been in the ring again since that fight against Tyson Fury. Now he's making all his excuses, the rest of it. But it's crazy. Whilst Andy Ruiz Jr., he had some issues after the fight, got a bit overweight, fought obviously AJ, lost. But it looks like he wants to come back. He wants to get back into it. And he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. But these two, it's going to be tantalizing. This is how I see the fight going. I see the first round or two feeling themselves out. Look, Anthony Joshua is going to be cagey. We know in the Pulev fight, he could have knocked him out. And I've talked about another Tez. He could have knocked him out, the fourth round? Cleaned out Pulev, finished him off. And yet he backtracked. He stood back. He let the guy regain his consciousness. And even Pulev came back for a couple of rounds. And then obviously he put it on him. But why did he hesitate? Why did AJ hesitate? Why would you hesitate against a guy who you've dazed and confused? Well, I don't know. And that's the question that we're going to find out for AJ. The first two rounds going to be cagey, I think, because I think AJ doesn't want to get beaten. I think after the second round, maybe the third round, AJ's going to start trying to blast them out. He's going to go for it. He's going to go hard at Tyson Fury. And of course he would. Why shouldn't he? Tyson Fury, we know can get knocked down. We know he can. So he's going to go for it. And he's got the power behind his punches to do it. Of course he has. So that's when Tyson Fury will be very clever. I think he'll box very clever, and I think he'll make sure that, remember, he's 6'9", AJ is 6'6", that he stays out of range. He can do it. He can stay out of range. It's quite easy to dance around. We've seen him do it against Klitschko. Klitschko was hunting down Tyson Fury. What did Tyson Fury do? Tyson Fury made sure 100% that he didn't get caught. Just throwing his punches, making sure he didn't get picked off, keeping it clean. Look, remember Tyson Fury against Klitschko? He beat Klitschko in his own backyard. In his own backyard. What does that tell you? This guy is clever. This guy is not just some fighter who just kind of just turns up and just... I know he talks a lot. He's a good... Remember him in the pre-fight. In the pre-fight, he was in his Batman suit and everything. He's an entertainer. He's an entertainer. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. But I still remember it now. It was hilarious. But he still did the job on the day. He was clever. He didn't get in a fist fight. He didn't allow his head to go. He just went and did the job. And that's what it's about, isn't it? That's what it's about. It's about staying focused and doing what's needed to do to win the fight. It's not about going and, let's just go for it because I'm the superior in my head. That's what happened to Deontay Wilder, and that's why Deontay Wilder lost. You can't be like that. You've got to decide that, okay, I'm going to take my time, like Tyson Fury does. I'm going to take every punch and make sure it counts, like Mayweather does, funnily enough, and make sure that I'm getting the points. That's why I say in the early rounds, if Tyson Fury keeps it clean and doesn't get knocked out, doesn't try and get in any kind of fist fire or anything like that, I guarantee that Anthony Joshua will lose. If it goes 12 rounds, there's no way Anthony Joshua wants it to go 12 rounds. No chance. Because if it goes 12 rounds, he is going to lose. He's going to try and get in a fist fight and they get caught out. Tyson Fury will catch him. Tyson Fury loves giving the hooks when people come in. Remember, there's a 3-inch difference. Anthony Joshua has only had a couple of people who were below par, who were that kind of height, anywhere near as tall as him or slightly taller. And that's why I just think that Tyson Fury will have the skill. If, though, for some weird reason, Tyson Fury decides, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to make sure that I get involved, it's going to be interesting. Because I just don't think... I think Tyson Fury has got power, but I don't know if he's got enough power to get the job done that quickly. Because if he's going to go in, he's got to knock him out. Because that's what Anthony Joshua did. There's going to be toe-to-toe. And that's what Anthony Joshua won. So it's going to be interesting. Look, I 100% think that Tyson Fury is going to win. I think Anthony Joshua's got a chance. But I think Tyson Fury is going to win. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think it's going to be close? Do you think Anthony Joshua will provide the power from the off? I don't know. He might do. But again, I just think, just the way Klitschko came in to Tyson Fury, I know it was many years ago, the way he came into him, that it's just going to be so hard for Anthony Joshua. Actually, look at the situation of Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder wanted the knockout. And he's so good at dancing, Tyson Fury. So, it goes past the first 2 rounds, it's over. It's over. It's only one way it's going to go. Only one. And it's pretty confident in my mind, and most people's mind I've talked to, that it's going to go to, like I said, undisputed, undefeated. And in truth, really, he should be that position. If he didn't have the issues that he had after winning, he would have had all the belts, and so that would have been the proper fight to see who's the real winner. And then Anthony Joshua been beaten by Andy Ruiz Jr. And it was a very convincing loss. He came back against out of shape, not really focused Andrew Ruiz Jr. And then, like I've shown Obviously, then he's come back and he's not really done that much after that. It's for Pulev. Pulev was mandatory, and Pulev, like I said, wasn't really the right weight. It wasn't really. Let me know what you think. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? I can't wait. They haven't confirmed the date yet, but they've confirmed it's signed. Eddie Hearn confirmed that Joshua and Fury are ready. We're ready. We're ready to see some action. We're ready to see some action. But like I said last time, first, second round, all guns blazing anti-Joshua. Tyson Fury's going to dance around him. Dance. Then third, fourth round, it's going to be picking off the punches. Tyson Fury, pick. And then, obviously, anti-Joshua will get frustrated, come in, get caught. I think it will be a TKO. I think it'll be the latter rounds, the like 8th, 9th round. But I think Tyson Fury wins. TKO. Second fight, I think that Tyson Fury will finish the job earlier. That's how I'm confident I'm in Tyson Fury's skills, because he's like I said, a student of the game. He's not using his power. He's not building himself, bulking him up unnecessarily. He's just ready to get the job done. He's ready to get the job done, Tyson Fury. I think Joshua is as well. But from the last two fights, Andrew Ruiz Jr., the last three fights, Andrew Ruiz Jr. was beat him, cleaned him out. Andrew Ruiz Jr., the fight, the rematch, he didn't do a convincing job for me. Pulev, like I've said, he should have knocked him out early, 4th round, instead of had to go 7th, 8th round, 7th round. It's got to be very, very clean. Boom. He could have beaten him down 4th round. It was actually the 9th round. Forgot it's the 9th round that it took. So from 4th round to 9th round, it took anti-Joshua to make a decision to knock out Pulev, when he could have done it. No problem at all. Much earlier, but he didn't. So what's done is done. But let me know your thoughts on the matter. So here we are. These two giants of the sport. Respect to both of them for what they've done in the sport. They've done amazing things. So, who comes out on top? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on the matter. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to make sure that we watch this together whenever the first fight is. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. So, thanks for watching. This is Sports Fans TV. This is Matt here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave all your thoughts about the matter. And I'll see you next time. So, thank you very much. And also, if you love football as well, football tonight, Wolverhampton against Liverpool. I'll be there live streaming. So, I'll see you then. Cheers. If you love football as well, football tonight, Wolverhampton against Liverpool. I'll be there live streaming. So, I'll see you then.